Hey everybody, happy Monday. Hopefully your weekend was amazing. I know I had a busy but exciting weekend. It was full of fun, full of adventure, and all the good things that come with that. But welcome to the stream. Today, Mr. Darrell is going to be talking about theory versus practice. He's got some good information for you guys. But first, as always, let's hop into the content material. So, if the clicker will click, can you click it on, bring it to this screen? Forgive us, you guys, technical difficulties. We'll fix that. Aha, there's my slide. So, if you are a healthcare worker, first responder, military personnel, teacher, and or educator, we would like to give you $500 off your next Mallett building just to say thank you for doing what you do. We believe you serve our community, and the best way we can give back to you is by helping make your building experience a little more affordable and a little better by giving you $500 off just to say thank you. Now, speaking of money off, Tiger Cash. Get $1,000 off your elite or signature building when you comment cash under a video just like this one. And if you are purchasing an elite or signature building, you will get $1,000 off. Now, keep in mind, this does not apply to specials or promotional prices. However, any regular price elite or signature, you will get your $1,000 off just by commenting cash. And if you fall into one of these categories, that's $1,500 off towards your building. So let your building specialist know and they can take care of that. Moving right along, where's Mallett? We are again in 89 job locations this week. It just worked out that way. The numbers moved. Texas went up, Louisiana went down. Shout out Texas for showing up this week. But 89 jobs again throughout the tri-state area. We completed one last week in Mississippi and have one more finishing up this week. But we have 67 jobs throughout Louisiana. Almost the entire southern portion is covered by job locations. That's awesome. We're everywhere from Morgan City, Maurice, Iota, Rayne, Ragley, Florine, Boyce, St. Francisville, New Roads, Kaplan, Sunset, Scott, all over the place, you guys. That's where Mallett is in Louisiana. And in Texas, we are in Van Vleck, Crosby, China, San Leon, Sweeney, Burkeville, and Columbus. All throughout Texas from Houston on over, you guys. Mallett is making things happen all over. And again, one in Mississippi. Happy Monday, Mr. Tim. Always a pleasure to see you. Now, specials and promotions. This is the fun stuff, you guys. For $16,999, you get this beautiful Rival Series building. It is a 20 by 40 by 12, and it's going to be our neighborhood special. These are going to be sized to be the buildings that can fit best in your subdivisions. We're going to help make it work with the HOA, things like that. Just let us know, and we'll take care of that. But that's going to be a 20 by 40 by 12. It's going to come with 29 gauge metal, 4-on-12 roof pitch, 2x6 trusses. They're going to be common flat trusses unless you let us know otherwise. 130 mile-an-hour wind rating with no uplift control. Posts are going to be in the ground, 3,000 PSI. Concrete, 2x8 headers, no ground protection, 2-year workmanship warranty, and number 2 untreated generic lumber. Now, what does that mean? That is a industry standard building. That is not going to be a Mallett standard building. This is the Rival Series. That's how the price is so low. But if you're interested in the difference in that, we'll get to that shortly. Now, moving right along, $20,999, same specs, bigger building. Rival Series, 20 by 50 by 12 in our neighborhood special, you guys. A little bit bigger, a little bit better building. All the good stuff in the Rival. Check that out for $20,999. Now, the 5 red flags. We want to hop into these real quickly, you guys. Years in business. Check how long the business has been around on the Secretary of State website. You want to be sure the company you've been doing business with has been around long enough to understand what they're doing and check the issues that are going and have corrected them, all that good stuff. You learn this by years in business. We are proud of our craftsmanship here in Mallett Buildings, and we want to continue to do that. For 27 years strong, we've been here and plan on being here 27 more, you guys. Now, licensure. You want to check on the Louisiana State Licensing Board for Contractors, the LSLBC, if the person you're doing business with actually has a business license. This is a key thing that we see all the time. Unfortunately, there's a lot of people going around offering contractor services who are not licensed to do so, and the building either does not come out in the best quality or in any quality at all because they take the money and run. make sure the people you're doing business with are legally able to do business. It'll save you a lot in the long haul. Now, contractor violations on the same board and on the same website, the LSLBC, you can check for this. If they're willing to break the law once, they're willing to break the law another time, and you don't want to risk that being with you. That being said, you want to check on the LSLBC if they have any contractor violations, and if you find out from them checking instead of them telling you, that in itself could probably be a red flag. I feel they should be open about those things. But here at Mallett, we'll be open about it too, because in 27 years, we have 0 contractor violations, and we are incredibly proud of that. So I want to keep that going and continue to offer the amazing business that has given us this reputation so far. Now, reviews on the BBB and Google, speaking of reputation, I updated the number because I checked earlier. Between the BBB and Google, we have over 685 reviews for Mallett buildings, you guys, holding an average of a 4.85 star rating out of 5. I think that's amazing. That's a lot of reviews and a very, very, very high average. So don't just take what we say at face value. See what the public has to say, you guys. Understand what the people who've gone through the process experience and how they feel, and use that to make your judgment on who you're going to be using as your future builder, because just like we would on Amazon, a building is a big purchase. We want to make sure we have the reviews to back up our research. Now, visit the contractor's facility. We have an amazing facility here at Mallett. We have the state-of-the-art truss plant. We have our roll form plant being built as we speak. We have our gutter operation. We have the packing plant. We have the loading area. We have all these things going on here just at this one facility, you guys. Trust me, it's massive. You can spend all day walking around. But it is so much fun to not only come see all the cool things happening there, but you get to meet the crew. You get to meet the people who are going to be designing your building, the people who are going to be laying your concrete, the people who will be scheduling everything. They'll be your point of contact through the whole thing. You get to meet Mr. Lee if he's here. He's often out doing all the things that Lee Mallett does, and he's always wanting to meet the customers though. So if you let us know that you're on the way, he'll do his absolute best, and he will be here to shake your hand as well. You get to meet the whole team though, and it's a fun time. We also have free popcorn downstairs, and I have to say it is better than the movie theater and a lot less expensive. So keep those things in mind when you want to go talk to a building operator. When you're doing your building research, come visit the facility. A lot of people can't offer you to do that. We're very proud to do that here at Mallett. Now, why Mallett? We talked about the Rival Series, the industry standard of quality. Let me tell you a little bit about the Mallett standard of quality here. We're going to start everything with 26 gauge metal, standard across the board, as well as 2x8 scissor trusses, third party inspected by the way, and 2x12 headers. That's going to be all across the board with all of our Mallett buildings, and that's going to give us a 170 mile an hour wind rating for the roof system itself. We're also going to have the Mallett cable lock system. That's going to help with uplift control. That's going to prevent the building from acting like a parachute, taking that wind and lifting up and leaving your property. We're also going to have concrete under every post to help prevent unwanted settling and weird sinking. You're going to have 4,000 PSI concrete as opposed to 3,000. That's 33% stronger. You're going to have skirt board guards for ground protection, a 4-year workmanship warranty starting out at the Classic, as well as #1 MCA ground-treated kiln-dried lumber. That's going to prolong the life and structural integrity of the lumber because of how it's prepared and treated. And you're also going to have our in-house engineering team. Mr. Darrell is here today, and they're going to be looking over all the designs, making sure everything is to code and standard. And with all that coming together, you get what's known as a Mallett Classic building, which is built to our quality standards, which far surpass the industry standard, as you can see with this side-by-side comparison. Now, does not mean this is not a good building. It just means Mallett has gone above and beyond to make our core group of buildings that much better. So, whichever end of the spectrum you are on, or whatever you're looking at with your budget and preference, we have it for you here at Mallett. Just give us a call, 337-214-0428. We'll be happy to take care of you. Now, speaking of the Classic, we have the Cajun Oasis Classic. It is back, you guys, for December only. It did so well. You all were so sad when we took it away, so we brought it back. We're going to have the Cajun Oasis Classic 30 by 50 by 12 for $49,999. What does this include? It includes everything we just talked about in the Mallett Classic building, as well as full insulation, climate control system from a 5-ton unit. It's going to be heating and cooled. You're also going to have a full electrical package. So by the time we're done with this here, you're gonna have a building that you can walk in, flip a switch, and you can move a bed in and stay there if you want. Or you can make it a man cave, she shed, hangout area, in-law suite, suite for the kids, whatever you wanna do with it, it's ready when we're done. And that electrical package and 5-ton unit are a $16,000 value just thrown in here because it's the Cajun Oasis. And for $49,999, it can be yours. But if you want just a little more and have all the bells and whistles that Mallett has to offer, we have the Cajun Oasis Elite. Same $16,000 value, climate control installation with the 5-ton unit as well, electrical package. But it's gonna have all the features of a Mallett Elite building. You're gonna get the wainscot, you're gonna get the 145 mile an hour wind load rating, more trusses per spacing, 9 foot as opposed to 10 foot. You're gonna have all the different features of a Mallett that we're gonna talk about here shortly. But this is the Elite Cajun Oasis, also 30 by 50 by 12 for $59,999, you guys. And now, what makes the Elite so elite? Let's talk about that. That's gonna be, again, 26 gauge metal throughout, engineered 2x8 scissor trusses that are 3 foot spacing as opposed to 5 foot. You're gonna have post spacing that's 9 foot as opposed to 10 foot. You're gonna have 6-inch 4,000 PSI microfiber reinforced concrete with control joints as well. That's gonna help the integrity of the concrete and reinforce it so much more because that microfiber penetrates throughout the concrete. You're gonna have a full roof and wall insulation included, just as the Cajun Oasis. You're gonna have a continuous ridge vent system, seamless gutters and gutter guards, wainscot trim like we saw, 145 mile an hour engineered wind rating, and a 10-year workmanship warranty, you guys. And that is the Elite versus the Classic. That is why it is so much more amazing. Not that a Mallett Classic isn't great, but that Elite, you just can't beat it, you guys. It's the best building in the country, and it's an amazing product. Plus, throw it on this with this Elite package, that's a deal, you guys. Now, the Mallett Ambassador Club, we have officially launched the new Ambassador Club. If you haven't received your message, comment Ambassador. And if you don't know if you are an ambassador, also comment Ambassador, and we will send you all the information and be sure you are educated on how you can make a little bit more money and make more of an impact as a Mallett Ambassador, assisting future clients in the process that you yourself went through. Ambassadors, thank you so much. You know who you are, and we can't wait to meet the next round. Thank you all for being who you are. Again, very much appreciative. Now, that's it for me. I'm gonna bring on Mr. Darrell to talk about theory versus practice. You're in for a good one, you guys.
Hey, I'm Darrell, the engineer here at Mallett, and today I want to talk a little bit about theory versus practice, and I have some quotes for you, and next week I'll try to make sure and bring some bad Christmas jokes. But this is one quote, and I won't tell you who these famous people are that said these quotes because I didn't know who they were. Theory is the ideal, while reality is what actually happens, often proving theories wrong. Now, this is the great debate between contractors and engineers, because contractors are always saying that engineers over-design things or they design things that work in theory but don't work in the real world or in practice. So that's what we're talking about. Another guy said theory and practice sometimes clash, and when that happens, theory loses. And sounds like something a contractor would say. And then another one, theories look great on paper until reality scribbles all over the page. And another thing that I've heard over the years, in my 40 years of civil engineering, is that the contractor says, yeah, it looks great, but nobody can build it. You know, it's when somebody draws something that's not buildable. And then I think that the baseball player, Yogi Berra, not Yogi Bear, but Yogi Berra, said, in theory, there is no difference between theory and practice. In practice, there is. So that'll get you thinking. And then there's another one, experience without theory is blind, but theory without experience is mere intellectual play. And that's a quote thinking about the people that always perform the calculation, but they've never tried to build anything that they calculate. And then this one I put, Albert Einstein is credited with this. If the facts don't fit the theory, change the fact. Well, how do you do that? Well, I guess you have to be Albert Einstein to be able to figure that one out. So, what does that have to do with what I do? So, I've told you some of this stuff before. So, everything that we design our buildings is based on the wind loads of AS 7-16. AS 7 is a book that has been updated several times, and currently the state of Louisiana requires us to use the year of 2016. And from that we get our wind loads, so as I've told you before, the design wind load for the very tip of Louisiana is 170 miles per hour. And then it goes 170, 160, 150, 140, 130. And so, as I've told you, most of the area where we sell our buildings, it's 130 or greater. And that miles per hour is converted into a pounds per square foot, and that's how we come up with the design of our buildings, which is, how far our posts are spaced apart, how many screws each of our girts has, how many bolts our truss carriers have, how our truss is connected, how many screws our roof purlins have. And then even how many screws the metal wall panels and the metal roof panel have. So that's how we do that. That's it. And then we're given data. We use either the Simpson strong tie screw, timber hex screw, which is right here, or we use, wait a minute, my clicker's going crazy. Or we use the timber lock screw, and it's a very similar screw. And then for those screws, they have lateral design values and pull-out values. Now, that's all theoretical. So, did you upload the video for the? Okay. So I wanted to show you this video. I think we've shown it before, but it's a little, I think it's a couple minutes of a building that we built in Cameron Parish, and it went through Hurricane Laura.
Unprecedented destruction.
To be unsurvivable.
Be the strongest storm to ever hit Louisiana.
Cameron, Louisiana, taking the brunt of that northern eye wall.
I'm here at Darrell Food Mart, where being the only convenience store for 50 miles carries the weight of survival for this town.
Okay, so that was a building that still exists down in Cameron Parish, and it went through Hurricane Laura, and I went back and read some reviews from back there in 2000 and is it 20? 2020? Yeah, I think it's 20. And August 2020, and the winds in Hurricane Laura in Cameron Parish were documented to be 150 miles an hour. And likely they were higher, because a lot of times those winds are, you know, they just say the winds were estimated because there's usually not anybody around. So anyway, so that's in practice, okay? And as you saw in that video, that building was just in pristine condition after the storm. Now, it was a raised building, so most of the water was able to go under the building, and so, or through the, you know, the under part of the building. So, but that's the thing that you got to realize: we don't design buildings to withstand the water. You can't design a building to withstand water. That's called a levee, not a building. You just can't do that. So we designed for the wind, and as you saw, the roof didn't fly off, the wall didn't fly off, the building didn't rack. Everything worked out. Now, and that's where practice and theory sometimes clash, because Mr. Brent Ferguson's worked here for 20 years, and I think Lee's been building these post-frame buildings for 26 years. And so sometimes they'll question me rather vigorously about some of the requirements that I might put on a building. And the reason they do that is not because they're trying to save money or trying to cut corners. They do that because they say, hey, look, we've been building these things like this for all these years. We've gone through these high wind events, and our buildings functioned great. And so why do we need to do anything else? And so that's where we have the back and forth. And I am a very commonsensical engineer, and I listen to that, and I go back and I try to crunch my numbers and see where, so we can kind of come together and have an agreement. But theory versus practice is a very real thing, and that's why you hear Lee say it, you hear Mr. Trent say it, that hey, we have gone through 6, 7, 8 major hurricanes, and we've never lost a building. And so the thing about it that I consider is that the building that Mr. Lee builds now is actually stronger than the building that he built for Darrell's down in Cameron Parish, because now he's using all the 2x8 trusses. And so a Mallett building is just a very, very stout building. As I say that all the time, it's a great, very high quality product, and a fairly priced product. So just consider that when you're looking to buy a Mallett building. And that's all for today, and I'll see y'all next week.